Hello, everyone. Welcome to week number 8, our last week together in Bio 120. Let's take a look at what we learned last week. I'll talk to you a little bit about your final projects, the assignment that's due this next week, and what's happening at the end of the term. So last week was all about ecology, which is the study of ecosystems, and ecosystems, which are environments, particular environments with all the abiotic features of it, including rainfall and the air quality and soil type and shade and all sorts of things like that, weather patterns, plus all the species that live together in that particular environment. That's an ecosystem. This week is also about ecology, but about population ecology. So what the heck is a population? A population is members of the same species that live together in a very specific time and place or location. That's a population. Now, it can be a huge period of time, like all the time that human beings have been on the planet, and you want to know what's happening with the human population. Or it can be something really, really specific, like how many bluebirds do you find in your yard during the months of June, July, and August. It can be that specific. So there's a whole range of what you can study in population ecology. This week we're going to study the human population. So read the Module 8 overview and watch the video. This is an amazing video. And it's got an animated portion which you can stop and go back and look at. So select watch video and then look down in the bottom right hand corner and it says animate the map. Click on that because that's what the really interesting thing is, and you can go back and forth on the timeline and you can see what happened at different points in human history. Yeah, I think it's all human history on that timeline, and you can even see into the future. So look at that animation because that is really cool. That's what your journal assignment this week is all about. So do watch that video. Watch the video and then animate the map. Those are both important. And this is truly amazing because it shows you what has happened over time and what we predict to happen in the next 75 years or so. So the only thing that you have to do this week is your journal entry. And that is because you spent a tremendous amount of time on that final project. And that means I have to spend a tremendous amount of time grading all those final projects in week 8. So I have a lot to do, and you have a journal entry. No discussion board this week. Of course, I forgot that. I was thinking that you had discussion board postings this week, so you may have seen messages about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, no discussion boards this week, just one journal entry. Well, what is it about? You're going to discuss whether exponential growth is possible. So exponential growth is 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, like that, exponential growth. Boom, wow. Is it possible for any species to exhibit exponential growth on into the future? Now, of course, the answer is going to be no, because what sense does that make? How can anything keep growing and growing and growing population size-wise? Because what's going to happen? Right? You're going to run out of space. You're going to run out of resources like food. You're going to build up waste. Yeah, that is not going to happen. So you need to discuss that. And if we're talking about bacteria, that's one thing because they can grow into the millions, billions, and trillions and on and on. But what about people? So we're getting to that. Review the meaning of the map and how you read it. So what in the heck does a dot mean on the map? It's very important to know. And then think about what you're seeing happening as you animate that map. And where are the hot spots? Where is the major human population growth happening around the world? And what are the consequences of the human population reaching 9 billion, which is estimated to be in 2050? which is only 25 years from now, which is absolutely crazy because we just hit 8 billion. A year ago, 2 years ago, we hit 8 billion, and now we're looking at 9 billion people on the planet. What are the consequences of that? Is the planet built to sustain that many people? Or what kinds of things can happen when we get that many people crowded together? Oh, wait a minute, like new diseases come about? We wouldn't know anything about that. Wait a minute. What happened in 2020? COVID-19, brand new disease, killed millions of people across the world. Yeah, and that's because we have so many people. It's true. Diseases are going to come around that wipe out part of the population. We can just expect that. Then there's more fighting over resources. Don't we see that in the world today? We absolutely do. I want what's mine, and I also want what's yours, because I want to take care of my family, and I don't care about you taking care of yours, right? Fighting for resources. We've got serious pollution problems. We've got climate change, which is going to change the face of the planet, I'm sure, unless your generation steps in and does something about it, because obviously mine isn't going to do anything. Yeah, what are the consequences of the human population reaching 9 billion? And if you follow the animation on the map, it shows you even past that, past 2050. So take a look at that. So this is your journal entry for this week. It is very interesting and very thought-provoking. So be sure and watch every bit of it and get all the information that you can out of it, because it is very, very interesting. And it will give you something to think about, especially if you have children. All right, and then my final thoughts on the course. Everything has to be turned in by Sunday before midnight on October the 26th. I don't have any control over this. The computer automatically shuts down your access. So you can't turn in things late in the course. It just doesn't work. So everything has to be turned in before midnight, October 26th, Sunday. And that is just a week from today. Course evaluations. Please complete your course evaluations. I had one term and nobody turned in a single course evaluation. I was so upset. Please, because I want to learn how to do my job better. I want to know what you need from me. If I didn't provide it, or if I did provide it and I did a good job, please let me know that. It also helps my team lead and my dean to know how well I'm doing as an instructor and what you think about the course itself, besides just me. So please turn in those course evaluations. They're very important and very important to me. I wanted to point out a couple of things. I got in some of my pictures from my Africa trip. Now, wait a minute. I can't figure out where to point. Over there. Over there. That's a malachite kingfisher that I took a photograph of, and it is the most beautiful bird you've ever seen in your life, and very hard to photograph. I took a lot of photos of them, and I got a few good ones. And then the picture on this one slide is a whole herd of elephants coming in the evening, and they're coming to water. They're going to drink some water right there in front of them. So that was pretty cool, too. So anyway, I hope that you have had a great term in Bio 120. I hope that you've learned a lot. I hope that some of the things that we've done have made you think, because literally that is what this course is about. And to think in a scientific way, right? Instead of just listening to people's opinions out there. Boy, is that what our age is all about right now, or what? Everybody just spewing off all these opinions based on absolutely nothing. That's what astounds me. Based on nothing. Based on a story that somebody's sister's, cousins, friends had happen to them. Oh, okay, that's an anecdote. That's not science. So hopefully you learn how important the scientific process is to all of us, and you gained a little bit of experience with doing research, which is awesome too for that final project. And I hope that you have learned how to think through some situations scientifically. With that being said, I hope that you have a wonderful week number 8. If you need anything, and we're getting down to it, so if you need anything, you be sure and email me, m.sigmon@snhu.edu. I'm here for you. I'll be glad to help you in any way that I can. Please let me know if you need anything. All right? And keep in touch with me. I love to hear from former students. All right? Have a wonderful week number 8, and let me know if you need anything.